This is Chapter 5 Test STAAR Review Questions. An engine is operating at 25% of its full power. Which number line shows a point that represents 25%? I would recommend you changing 25% to a fraction, because these number lines would be much easier to read as a fraction. And we need to count and see where our plots are. And if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this one has 10 parts to it, and it's 1, 2. So 2 out of 10 equals 1/5 when you reduce it. G would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 parts, and there's 1, 2. 2 over 8 can be reduced. Divide by 2 on both sides, top and bottom. 2 can go into 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And I'm just doing this so you know what the answers are. And then when you come and make the percentage a fraction, then that will help determine your answer. So the parts here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. And this one's on 1, 2. 2 out of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And it's on 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 12, which can be simplified by dividing by 4. That would be 1/3. So now that we have all of our fractions for our number lines, let's go back and change 25%. And that's one of those you really should have known. You can think about 25% and figure that one out. Or we can do 25 over 100 and reduce this. Well, 25 goes into both of them. And that would go down to 1/4. So you're looking for what number line has 1/4 on it. Well, there it is. So your answer is G. Number 2. A waiter earned a 17% tip. What decimal is equivalent to 17%? So we're taking 17% and changing it to a decimal. That's all we're doing. So if you have 17%, start taking the percentage away. Your decimal starts right here behind the number 1, 2 spots to the left. So it's going to be 0.17. Number 3, a shop owner offered a 20% off the regular price of a mirror. The amount of the discount is $3. What is the regular price of the mirror? This is going to be part over whole and percent over 100. And we see the percent, so I know to put 20 over 100. And then the discount is $3. So is the discount of $3, oh, and look, there is a key word, is, over of. So also we know that this is part of the price, and is on top. So your $3 is on top, and your X is on the bottom. And after this, you just simply need to cross multiply. So 20 times X should equal 100 times 3. Well, 3 times 100, that would be 300. And then divide by 20, so that's 1x. So 1x is going to equal 300 divided by 20. And you can solve that problem. Number 4. Yesterday, 170 guests at a hotel called for room service, and 255 guests did not call for room service. What percentage of guests? Okay, what percentage? I'm wanting a percentage. So I know my X is over 100 because I don't know. There's no percentage. I want to find it. Percents always go over 100. What percentage of the guests at the hotel called for room service? Let's go back and look. Which ones called for room service? 170 guests at the hotel called for room service. So that's the part that called. So that's part of them. So the part goes on top out of the whole. Well, this is not the whole. This is the guests who did not. To find the total number of guests, you're going to have to add this to this. So on the side, we have 255 plus 170. Okay, if you add that, you should get 425. So the whole part of guest is 425. So again, cross product. 425x equals. And since you're multiplying by 100, all we really need to do is add the two zeros, and that will have been multiplied by 100. So it's going to be 1, 2 for the 100. That's a little shortcut. And then again, to get x by itself, if it's multiplying, we do the opposite. So we're going to divide by 425 on both sides. So x equals, because that makes 1x. And if you divide this by this, you will have your answer. Number 5. A company spent 32% of its annual budget developing new machines. What fraction of the company's budget was spent developing new machines? What fraction? What fraction? So I'm looking for a fraction. Was spent developing new machines. Well, this was spent developing new machines. So we need to turn 32% into a fraction. And what we know is all percents go over 100. So 32 over 100. But this can be simplified, so you need to simplify it until you can't simplify it anymore. Number 6. A meteorologist at a television station reported that a town received 0.95 inches of rain. Which fraction is equivalent to this amount of rain? So now I'm wanting to turn this into a fraction. So if this is 95 hundredths, this is your tenths, hundredths, 95 hundredths, you would simply write 95 over 100. And if you forget that, if you forget your place value, remember when you're making a fraction, put the 1 under your decimal and then fill the rest of it in with how many numbers you have. Now then, this can be reduced, and I would keep reducing it until you get to simplify it as far as you can go. Okay, number 7, the shaded area on the grid represents the part of a rectangular wall that was painted. Each small square on the wall has the same dimensions. What percent of the wall was painted? So we have part over whole. Okay, so what part was painted? So count up how many squares. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 over 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. There's total 40, but only part of them were colored in. What percent is that? So we can cross multiply, cross product. So again, the shortcut for multiplying by 100 is going to be 24 and add the 2 zeros for the 100 equals 40x. To get 40 off of x, divide by 40, so that's 1x, divide by 40. And then this will be your answer in a percent. And the last one, this shaded model represents 100%. Which model represents 33 and 1/3? So what we're going to focus on is 1/3. And so which one of these has shaded in 1/3? 1 out of 3. Remember, part over whole. 1 part out of 3, which is 1/3. Okay, if you have any questions, leave some comments.